Hi, this is Ian Tronto, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about makerspace. We had 6 questions to answer on our discussion board this week, which kind of help us dig into what it is and how it's effective in the classroom. So I'll be answering those as well as giving a brief definition. So what is makerspace? Makerspace, according to Angela Watson, which is in an article you can research up on Google, is an area where students can create, they can cause, they can invent, produce, craft, build, construct, achieve, any words along those lines, an area where they can do those things. So this can be very individual, where students can go and have an idea and they want to work on something and build something, or it can also be content related where you can give them something, give them an idea. For example, I just got done with a biology class, so I could give them whatever we were working on. Let's say we were working about the heart, and then the students would have free range to create something to show their understanding of what it's doing and whatever I want to see as well from that. In the classroom, you can make it in a small area. Usually, you want to make it big enough to at least fit 4 students. You do not have to go out and buy all the crazy things like a 3D printer. However, that would be nice. But again, that is out of a lot of our reach. So understandable that you can just use things around the house, popsicle sticks, wire, recyclables, things like that. So the first question is, how can you use your students' interests, motivations, social connections to develop knowledge about the subject? So you would use their interests to allow them to be creative through the content. Again, they're going to have better ideas and have more of an enjoyable experience if they get to do things a little bit on their own as well. You could also split them into groups so they could work together that way. Um, Again, the social connections through this, they can work together, they work on problem solving, they do all these things, and it kind of helps them connect to the content a little better. So, them doing hands on things they want to do, for example, if you have an athlete in the classroom and you're working on human anatomy, you could allow them to have creativity on how they want to express what we're learning in the classroom and how they want to share it. Again, if you have a kid that likes to game, you could do the same thing. Going back to my heart example, you could even have a student create a website showing how the heart works, or a short video or video game showing how the heart works, how the blood pumps through the aorta, and such. So, question number 2: how can you use the makerspace concept in the classroom to help teach content? It helps allow students to express themselves more freely. You can go around as they are creating and give them input or advice on whatever it is they're working on. So you don't have to be necessarily reading from the book, but you can go around and give them these pointers, give them these ideas, give them these things to research that will further enhance their knowledge on the content that you're teaching in the classroom. They will also be, like I mentioned in the first question, they'll be a little bit more engaged because they're doing it a little bit more on their way and their creativity and their imagination with it as well. So to question number 3: what skills do you want your learners to develop and why? So the biggest skills, in my opinion, on makerspace is problem solving. They need to problem solve. They need to learn how to create things. They need to research things on how to do things if they have an idea but don't know how to do it. Um, they need to learn how to be cooperative. They need to learn how to share with each other and work together, which I think, again, these are big, big, big humanistic skills that not every day, that not all these students are getting just from a lecture. They will learn just simple research skills. Again, going back, they need to know how to research what they're trying to do and what they want to know. Critical thinking and just even creative skills. They're learning how to do things. They might not be the artsy person, but they like to do art, so they might need to work on it a little bit. And this gives them the tools and it gives them the access to actually do that in the classroom. I even think it works on a couple real world actual skills. So, for example, if you had a student in the classroom that wanted to make a hat at the makerspace, okay, they're going to need to research and learn how to sew. So, this will give them better tools for their future as well. Question 4: what will you do for the kids who are amazing at making? I think it depends on a couple different things, especially on age. So I think for all ages, you're just, if they are very good at it, you need to challenge them in different ways. Challenge them with new ideas, challenge them with new tasks, challenge them to even further enhance it. And I think the kids that are really amazing, at least from my experience, are going to really embrace that challenge. Where you don't want to really necessarily challenge the kids that are struggling a little bit more with it too much, or else it's just going to discourage them. You could even go as far as, I mean, this is outside the classroom, but it also helps with their self-esteem, is referring them to a club. If they're good at building, you could refer them to an engineering club at the school. And if there's not something at school, maybe there's something off-site you can mention to them. And as far as the older students go, motivate them with college ideas. So going back to the building, you can motivate them with engineered advice, majors, degrees, things like that, that'll really keep the students engaged and want to actually feel some purpose to their maker ideas. So, what will you do for the students who think they're terrible? So, for the students that think they're terrible, at first I would encourage them. I make sure that they're working as hard as they can, they're trying their best, and as long as they're getting the content and getting the ideas, I would be happy with it. However, I'd also work with them and find something that piques their interest, whether it be content or creativity or even both, to help them kind of have a better experience with it and find something that's kind of their niche. It doesn't necessarily have to be making a piece of art. It can be making a video, it could be making a website, it can be any of these things that, that's the point of this, is to let the students express themselves within themselves. So it doesn't have to be anything. This what Angela Watson Angela Watson said in her page as well was like, this is limited to their imagination. So let them have the imagination to do what they want as long as it's expressing how they feel or what they've learned in the content. Um, you can also, I mean, if it's really a struggle, you can partner them up with somebody. I wouldn't necessarily partner them up with somebody that you think is just better, but somebody that they actually enjoy. Partner them up so they have a good experience with it, and they kind of do get to help and be more hands-on with it as well. And question six, what's the role of the classroom teacher? So the teacher has, in my opinion, different roles. I mean, obviously, we need to be there to engage the students into the task, to hold them accountable, to make sure they're following the rules of the makerspace, meaning they're cleaning it up, they're not making a mess, they're being productive at it. But I think the biggest thing is being the students' mentors and being their helping them problem solve a bit. So I think it's very important for us as teachers to go walk around and help these students during this time when they do have problems. And it's not necessarily just telling them the answer, but guide them to where they can find the answers and find the things to help them push forward in their little projects or whatever they're making. You also just want to help them network with each other and help them with just any other problems they have at the space or just in the class in general. So again, that's going to conclude my PowerPoint on Makerspace. Thank you guys all for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.